Welcome to the MTD Technical Corner. Today we'll be technically reviewing CAM solutions for sliding head technology and advanced mill turns. Now, Mark, thank you very much for joining us today
Pleasure.
in the MTD studio.
Absolute pleasure.
Now, Mark, firstly, before we start reviewing this technology, can you just give us an overview of the technology that you offer?
Okay, so we offer full support for all multi-axis mill turn machines, whether it's from, if you like, your traditional XZC machines going up to addition of a Y-axis sub-spindle, multi-turret on there, right the way through to, as you see on here, this is on SR38, the sliding head style of machines on there, which obviously gives us a lot more challenges on what we need to support within the software. So this has been developed over the last, probably since year dot of SolidCAM in the background, but say for the advanced mill turn side of things, that's really in the sliding head, that's really been developed, and say we've had full support for the last say 4 or 5 years. So yeah, a lot of development going on, but yeah, it's been well worth it. Big market for us now.
Well, let's start specifically on sliding head technology then. You've brought this to the market quite recently.
Yep.
Tell us why.
As I say, the software has been available to support it for the last 4 or 5 years, and we've been out there showing people it for 4 or 5 years, but not really pushing it, just making sure that we're comfortable with it in the UK, to make sure the software, the technology and everything is there, but more to make sure that we have the infrastructure in the UK, the people behind it to support it. It'd be pointless taking out a brand new product on there and not having the control and the knowledge in the UK to support it. Customers will need support. It's a high-end solution. They'll need the help and the backup on there. The post-processors, one of the parts of it. These machines are complex. They need a lot of help and guidance to get things up and running. We took the decision not to promote this and to go 100% into the UK market 5 years ago, because we needed the support. So we put all their infrastructure in place now. We've got engineers, we've got a department purely for sliding head and advanced mill turn. And now we can do everything from the UK, whether it's post-process, technical support, we can go on site, do cutting trials, this type of thing. That's all from the UK.
Okay, so we're going to talk about some of the case studies and success stories shortly, but before we get to that, historically, you know, sliding head companies were programming directly into the machine.
Absolutely.
So what's changed, and why does this technology benefit them? How does it benefit them?
There's still a lot of companies still programming on the machines, and for a lot of companies that's still going to work. Maybe they got long runs on a particular product which is going to run for several months or whatever, or even a few weeks, and they don't have the necessary requirements for it. But then you've also got companies now, the parts have become more complicated, so you can have different features on those components which are very difficult to program on the machine. So they need offline programmers sometimes. Now again, some of these companies may have stitched some code in to an existing program from maybe their milling software and just doctored it and played around with it, which is open to errors. Obviously you're taking part a product not designed to go on a slider, to put it onto a slider, so you've got to adapt it that way. But also what you got on there is, so complicated parts on there. You've now got an aging skill base, effectively. The personnel who are doing this programming on the shop floor typically are very skilled and very few and far between. So what we're doing on there, we're offering them a software which can actually not replace them. We're never talking about replacing that. We're offering them a way of doing it simply, so that it's a tool to make their life easier, and that's what SolidCAM can do. It can take their parts, you can program offline, you can prove everything offline, take it and put it on the machine and work with it. So you're going to get a broader range of people who could drive these machines now, rather than just your pure specialists. You've now got a bigger pool of engineers who could potentially program.
I mean, these machines are complex, as well as the components becoming more complex, up to 12 axis in some scenarios.
Yeah.
So you would imagine you'd want that reassurance when programming such a complex machine.
There's a lot of things going on in a very small area, And yeah, as you can see here, there's axes coming from various different places on there, potential for collisions and things like that going on. We can predict all that, we can see all of that up front. So yeah, it's nice to have that reassurance that before it goes to the machine, everything is going to work fine.
Mark, some people may say, you know, I bought a slider to do very high volume work, and if it takes me an hour to write a program or a day to write a program, it don't really matter because the machine will be running for so long. What argument would you have against that?
There's in a lot of scenarios, or in those types of scenarios on there, CAM's only going to make their life easier in terms of programming. It may not pinch seconds off of the cycle time and everything else on there, but you're talking about potentially having a very skilled programmer doing this type of work. And yes, he can optimize that to the nth degree, take his time overdoing it. Where we've looked at projects in the past, people have come to us and said, okay, we've got this cycle running for, say, 3 months, why do I need CAM? They've had the exact same question as you just asked on there. And we've taken their program and looked at it and actually seen how they're programming it. Programmed it in SolidCAM with exactly the same cut data and everything else. So our cycle time is basically exactly the same in SolidCAM on there, but we can then look to see, okay, could that be done, or could we optimize that? Could we do this at the same time? And we can see all of that in our channel synchronization on there. We can see potential time savings graphically.
So you're optimizing programs, you're reducing cycle times through them programs, you're simplifying the programming. And one thing I'd like to touch on as well, Mark, I know these machines are designed to run 24/7, 7 days a week, but the world is changing, not just now we manufacture things. We want to be able to manufacture low volume parts, but to run them 24/7. And I've started to see some scenarios where, you know, sliding edge shops are running low volume work. Does it really lend itself to that too?
It's a mechanism as well of the sliding head gives you improvements in terms of local support for maybe a long part, because you've got a guide bush or something very close to where you're machining. You get a lot of support locally, which you wouldn't necessarily on a fixed head, where you could be working away from the chuck and things like that. So it gives you different scenarios on there, but it also gives you still got the technology. You've still got milling from different orientations, whether it's on a B-axis, so you've got like a 5-axis unit coming in there, or whether it's just axial or radial, which you don't necessarily have on a milling machine. So what you're seeing now is a lot more complex parts, even prismatic parts, which would take, say, 3 or 4 operations on a conventional milling machine, now put through either a sliding head or a advanced mill turn machine.
And let's talk about advanced mill turns as well now. So again, has everything that we've just talked about apply for the advanced mill turns?
Yeah, I mean, we've got obviously a different kinematic for different machines. The machine we've got here is this is what we've got in our technology centre. We've got an ST20 a star on there. It's a 3-turret machine. It's still a sliding head, so we've still got all the challenges from that, but it's turrets, whereas sliding heads are traditional platinum machines that have got tools coming from on slideways, effectively coming from different ways. Now that's giving you different challenges, but we could take a part which has been programmed on a slider, for example, and then move it to a fixed head within SolidCAM. All it would need to do is remap the tools, because these tools in different locations, but it would do all of that. So yeah, exactly the same technology on an advanced mill turn machine to as a slider.
And you're talking about different types of machine tools here, different brands. What about the post-processing, and how confident are you that you can achieve it on any type of machine?
We have, as I say, we took the decision to not go after this market until we have the infrastructure in the UK. We're not reliant on anywhere else in the world for post-processors. We can write everything here. We'll go on site, prove it all out, prove we can cut it. We've done 2, 3, 4 channel machines, some very complicated machines on there, so we have the expertise locally to do that. One of the things we've also done is, here, this is the SR38 from Star. This is the first machine which Star gave us to put in our technology centre, so we'll prove it. We'll actually show people, invite people to come to our place and show what we're doing, prove the technology, prove it worked. We also go on customer sites for that as well. So if they want us to prove it on their machines, we can do that as well.
So you practice what you preach?
Absolutely.
And how important, you mentioned Star, how important are these relationships and partnerships to you guys at SolidCAM?
Very, very important. Whether it's on a customer level, actually having a very happy user base and people who will talk about us within the market, or on a machine tool level, people like Star, they've obviously seen what we're doing. backed us, put the machine in our technology centre. They also have seats of SolidCAM within their application department now, and again they're talking about us to their customer base. So these relationships are very, very important.
Mark, it's been an absolute pleasure. For people that want to visit your tech centre,
Yep.
or want you to come on site and prove,
Please contact us. Yeah.
And you can find the information about this on the screen. Thank you very much, Mark. It's
Thank
been an
you.
absolute pleasure.
Thank you very much.